When you feel like the world has dimmed your light, that's the very moment your glow begins. Because what they don't tell you is this: your glow doesn't come from approval, applause, or comfort. It comes from the fire you build when no one else is watching. The glow is born in the shadows. Empowerment is ignited not when things are easy, but when you choose to rise anyway. This is your call to rise. This is your season to turn every quiet ache into power, every fear into momentum, every scar into sparkle. This is where the empower glow begins, not when life gives you power, but when you finally remember you've had it all along. You've been taught to look outside for validation, but your real strength is a mirror, not a window. You are not meant to wait for permission to shine. You are meant to burn through limitation. The empower glow isn't something you buy, borrow, or beg for. It's something you unlock, and you don't need to be fearless to unlock it. You just need to be willing to believe in yourself, even when doubt screams louder. Willing to move, even when your legs shake. Willing to rise, even if you have to rise alone. Your power comes from within, not from approval. This truth is often the hardest to accept, especially in a world that constantly teaches you to measure your value by how others respond to you. You've been conditioned to believe that applause means success, that compliments mean you're enough, and that external recognition equals inner worth. But the moment you stop looking outward for permission to shine is the moment your real power begins to rise. Because no one can give you something that already lives inside you. Approval is fleeting, and the moment you chase it, you start molding yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. You begin to dim your glow just to be accepted in places that were never meant for your light. You start shrinking your voice, adjusting your dreams, and questioning your instincts, all in the hope that someone will finally say you're enough. But the glow that you're chasing outside of you will never feel whole because it was never meant to come from there in the first place. Real power comes from choosing yourself even when no one claps. It comes from standing tall in your truth, even when it's unpopular. It's waking up every day and affirming your worth before the world has a chance to define it for you. That's not arrogance, that's self-respect, that's soul alignment. And when you're aligned with who you truly are, you stop performing, you stop proving, you start embodying, and people can feel that energy. They feel your certainty. They sense that you are no longer looking for approval because you've already approved of yourself. The problem with chasing validation is that it will never satisfy you. The compliments feel good, but they fade. The applause feels nice, but it ends. And then what? You're left chasing the next hit, addicted to approval like a drug that keeps you from knowing the power of your own inner peace. But when you flip that switch, when you finally decide that your value is not up for debate, everything changes. You begin to lead your life with conviction. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and outcomes that match your inner glow. Not because you begged for them, but because you became a magnet by being your authentic self. This kind of power cannot be taken from you because it wasn't built on the shaky ground of opinions. It was built on self-belief, on the quiet, consistent decision to show up as you are unapologetically. And that decision will offend some people. It will make others uncomfortable, but it will liberate you. Because when you no longer need everyone to agree with your path, you're free to walk it fully. You stop needing the crowd and start trusting your own inner compass. That's when life starts to expand. That's when the glow becomes unstoppable. And here's the truth. The people who truly matter, the ones aligned with your purpose, will be drawn to your authenticity, not your performance. They will respect your power, not your perfection. They will celebrate your glow, not your compliance. So stop editing yourself to fit into rooms that don't honor your essence. Start showing up as the full expression of who you are. Not everyone will get it. Not everyone needs to. The right people will. But more importantly, you will. And that's enough. When you remember that your glow is self-sourced, you stop being afraid of losing people, opportunities, or validation, because you know that as long as you have you, you are whole. That's the empowered glow. That's the power that can never be taken, only discovered. And once you find it, you never go back to seeking approval. You become your own source, your own light, your own force. And that is the most powerful thing you can ever be. Your glow is forged through adversity. It is in the moments when you feel like you're breaking that something deep within you is actually building. There's a quiet transformation that happens when you are at your lowest, when the world feels too heavy, when every step feels like a climb with no end in sight. That's when your power is shaped. Not when things are easy, but when they're raw, painful, and uncertain. The glow you see in others didn't come from smooth roads. It came from surviving the storms and still choosing to rise. You go through what you go through, every setback you've faced, every heartbreak you've endured, every rejection that shook your confidence. Those weren't signs of failure, they were invitations. Invitations to reach deeper into yourself, to discover a strength you didn't know you had, to uncover a resilience that only shows itself under pressure. You weren't being punished by life, you were being refined. Just like gold must go through fire to be purified, your glow needed adversity to burn away what wasn't meant for you, so what is meant for you could finally shine. There's a reason your glow doesn't look like anyone else's. It's uniquely shaped by your battles, your experiences, your healing. The strength you carry didn't come overnight. It came from countless moments where you chose to keep going, even when you had every reason to quit. And every time you kept moving, your glow grew a little brighter. Because your light is not fragile. It is not weak. It is forged from the ashes of everything you thought would break you but didn't. Adversity is not the enemy, it's the proving ground. The pain, the struggle, the setbacks, they shape your mindset, expand your heart, and awaken your purpose. They push you to discover how powerful you truly are. Because when everything is stripped away, when you have nothing left to lean on except your will, that's when your glow begins to rise. That's when the empower glow is born, not in applause or recognition, but in the quiet, gritty moments when you refuse to stay down. And yes, adversity hurts. It stretches you. It tests your patience, your courage, your faith. But it also reveals the parts of you that were hidden behind comfort. It forces you to grow into someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives. You begin to see that every painful season was a chapter in your empowerment. Every hard lesson became a tool in your evolution. The glow you carry now is not despite the pain, it's because of it. If you're in a hard place right now, don't underestimate what is being built within you. You may not see it yet, but the version of you that's emerging is wiser, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. One day you'll look back and realize that the adversity didn't take your glow, it activated it. It pushed you into becoming someone who can walk through fire and still radiate. That glow is unshakable. That glow is earned. And that glow is yours. You don't have to wait until the pain is over to start shining. You can glow in the middle of the chaos. You can empower yourself while you're still healing. You can rise while your knees are still shaking. Because the glow isn't what happens after you've won, it's what carries you through the fight. And when you finally see that your power was born in your hardest moments, you'll stop fearing adversity and start embracing the fire that shaped you. You'll recognize it for what it really is, a catalyst, not the end, but the beginning of the empowered, unstoppable version of you. Stop comparing your journey to others. It's one of the fastest ways to dim your glow and disconnect from your power. The moment you measure your worth by someone else's progress, you lose sight of your own unique path. You weren't meant to follow someone else's timeline. You were meant to honor your own. Yet in a world of constant noise, constant scrolling, and constant highlight reels, it's so easy to forget that what you're seeing is not the full picture. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone's curated, filtered version of their life, and that is never a fair or truthful comparison. Everyone is walking their own road, facing battles you cannot see, and moving through chapters that may look better from a distance than they actually are. Just because someone looks like they're ahead doesn't mean they are more worthy, more talented, or more deserving than you. It simply means they're on a different timeline, and timelines are not competitions, they are personal journeys of unfolding. Your path isn't delayed, it's being carved with intention. Every step you take, even the ones that feel slow, even the ones that feel like setbacks, are part of a divine design that is shaping you into someone powerful, aligned, and unstoppable. You may look around and wonder why others seem to be glowing while you still feel stuck. But the truth is, your glow is not absent, it's evolving, it's working behind the scenes, it's preparing you for the moment that is meant for you. You're not missing out. You're being protected, redirected, developed. And when your moment comes, it will be yours fully, not borrowed, not rushed, and not built on comparison, but grounded in truth. Because what is truly for you cannot be taken, and it certainly cannot be rushed. The moment you start honoring your own growth is the moment your glow becomes authentic, and authenticity is magnetic. There's nothing more powerful than someone who is so deeply rooted in their own energy that they no longer need to match anyone else's pace. That kind of presence cannot be faked. That kind of power cannot be copied. You don't need to become someone else's version of success, you only need to become the fullest version of yourself. Comparison steals your joy because it shifts your focus from appreciation to inadequacy. It makes you question your steps, your worth, and your timing. But what if you turn that comparison into inspiration? What if instead of seeing someone else's glow as a threat, you saw it as a reminder of what's possible for you too? Because it is possible. You're not excluded from greatness. You're not behind. You're blooming in your own rhythm. You just have to trust it. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs happen in silence. Just because no one sees your progress doesn't mean it isn't happening. Some growth is invisible, some transformation is quiet, but it's all real. And when it finally surfaces, people will call it overnight success. But you'll know the truth. It was built slowly, steadily, and with deep inner work. So don't measure your worth by who gets noticed faster. Measure it by how deeply you are becoming who you're meant to be. Comparison ends where self-trust begins. When you trust your journey, you stop needing proof that you're doing enough. You stop seeking signs outside of you and start feeling alignment within you. That's where your glow begins to expand. That's when you step into your power, not because someone else gave you the green light, but because you gave it to yourself. And that permission, self-given, self-owned, self-sustained, is the key to unlocking a life that feels like yours, not a copy of someone else's. The more you honor your own timeline, the brighter you shine, not in competition, but in alignment. Not for attention, but from authenticity. You're the author of your own story. No one else gets to decide what your life should look like, what dreams you should pursue, or how far you're allowed to go. From the moment you realize that you have the pen in your hand, everything shifts. You stop waiting for permission. You stop asking others how your journey should unfold. You stop living a life designed to please people who were never meant to understand your vision. Because this is your story, and no one can tell it the way you can. The world may try to box you in, label you, define you by your past or your pain, but their version of your story only has power if you agree to live it. There's something incredibly powerful about reclaiming your narrative. It's the moment you decide that your past doesn't own you, that your mistakes don't disqualify you, and that your future is not tied to who hurt you, left you, or doubted you. You are not the victim of your life. You are the creator of it. And when you start living from that place of ownership, you become unstoppable. You realize that every time you gave away your power to fear, to doubt, to comparison, you were simply forgetting who you are. And now you remember, you are not obligated to continue writing a story that no longer reflects your truth. You don't have to stay stuck in a narrative of limitation just because that's what others expect of you. You can pivot, you can evolve, you can turn the page. That's the beauty of being the author. You get to change direction at any moment. You get to rewrite the script. You get to give your character the growth arc they deserve. And no one can stop you from doing that. They might resist it. They might try to guilt you into staying the same. But they don't have the pen. You do. Too often we hand our pens over without even realizing it. We let fear write the chapter, we let other people's opinions narrate our actions, we let doubt punctuate our sentences, and hesitation erase our boldest ideas. But the moment you take the pen back, you start writing with clarity, courage, and conviction. You start building a narrative that reflects your real voice, the one you silenced for too long. You stop living on autopilot and begin creating a life that actually feels like it belongs to you. There's so much power in choosing your own words. Choosing the way you speak about yourself, the way you define your identity, the way you shape your future. You are not broken. You are in the middle of a transformation. You are not lost. You are discovering a new path. You are not behind. You are aligning with your timing. The way you talk about yourself matters. Your self-narration is shaping your reality. And when you speak from a place of empowerment, everything around you starts to shift. Others will always have opinions. They will project their limitations onto you. They will try to write your story in their language, using their fears as ink. But you don't have to let them. You can listen, you can observe, but you don't have to absorb. This is your life, your energy, your mission, and no one has the right to override your truth. You are allowed to be different. You are allowed to dream boldly. You are allowed to glow in ways that make people question everything they thought they knew about you. That's growth. That's authorship. That's power. So hold the pen like it's sacred, because it is. Your story is not random. Your voice is not a whisper, and your vision is not too much. It's yours to own, to express, and to expand. You are the author. You are the narrator. You are the force. And the world is waiting for the story that only you can tell. Your empowerment lights the way for others. Every time you choose to rise, even when it's hard, even when you're unsure, even when no one is watching, you're doing more than just transforming your life. You're giving silent permission to everyone around you to believe in their own power. There's something magnetic and revolutionary about a person who owns their glow unapologetically. When you step into your truth, you're not just healing yourself. You're becoming a mirror for others to see what's possible. You're showing people that empowerment is not reserved for the chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to go within and claim it. You don't need to be perfect to be a mentor. You don't need to have all the answers, a flawless past, or a life that looks polished on the outside. What makes you powerful is your willingness to be real, to be transparent about your journey, to let your scars show not as signs of weakness, but as proof that healing is possible. Every time you speak your truth, someone else finds their voice. Every time you refuse to shrink, someone else realizes they don't have to either. That's how the ripple begins. That's how your glow becomes more than just personal. It becomes legacy. You might not see the impact you're having right away. The people who are watching you grow, who are quietly being inspired by your resilience, may never say it out loud. But that doesn't mean they're not being changed. Your courage plants seeds. Your authenticity plants hope. Your presence becomes a silent example of what it means to show up for yourself. And in a world that's constantly telling people to shrink, to conform, to stay quiet, your glow becomes a rebellion, a gentle revolution, a reminder that freedom is found in self-ownership. Being an empowered glow mentor doesn't mean you lead with ego. It means you lead with energy, with heart, with intention. It means you live your truth out loud in a way that invites others to do the same. It's not about telling people what to do. It's about showing them what's possible through your own becoming. When people see you rising through pain, healing out loud, loving yourself after being broken, or daring to try again after failure, they begin to believe that they can too. Your glow becomes a silent invitation, not a spotlight, but a pathway. And the beauty is, you don't have to wait until you've reached some imaginary level of success to begin mentoring with your energy. You can start where you are with what you have, in the middle of your becoming, because empowerment is not a destination, it's a frequency. And once you align with that frequency, you start shifting not only your own life, but the energy around you. The way you carry yourself becomes healing. The way you speak becomes uplifting. The way you walk through life becomes medicine for those still searching for their power. You are not just here to glow for yourself. You are here to light the way for the ones who think they're still in the dark. You are here to remind others that even in their mess, their doubt, their confusion, they're still worthy of rising. You become a walking example that it's okay to be both glowing and growing, that it's okay to be both powerful and unfinished, because you can still inspire while becoming, you can still lead while learning, and you can still lift others even as you rise yourself. So keep showing up, keep choosing your power, not just for you, but for every person who is watching you quietly, waiting for a sign that it's okay to do the same. Let your glow be that sign. Let your journey be the evidence that no matter where you start, transformation is possible. Let your empowerment be the spark that ignites something powerful in someone else, because that's what real mentoring is. It's not about being above anyone. It's about standing in your light so they can find theirs too. Now is the time to rise. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when everything feels perfect. The illusion of the right time is one of the greatest lies holding you back. Waiting for ideal conditions, for fear to disappear, for everything to be in alignment is just another form of delay. The truth is, your power activates the moment you decide that you are ready, not when the world says so. Life will never pause and say, now it's safe to shine. You create that moment by choosing to glow even in the midst of uncertainty. You spend enough time doubting your brilliance, underestimating your voice, playing small to make others comfortable. You've already survived things you once thought would destroy you. You've walked through pain, rejection, loneliness, and still you're here. That alone proves you have what it takes. That alone is your permission slip to begin. You don't need another sign. You don't need validation. You only need to say yes to yourself, right now, right here, as you are. Rising doesn't mean you're free of fear. It means you rise anyway. It means you stop letting fear make decisions for you. Because fear will always have something to say. It will always give you reasons to wait. But if you keep waiting for fear to go away, you'll be waiting forever. Rising is a decision, a line in the sand, a moment of truth where you stop waiting to feel ready and start trusting that you'll grow stronger as you move. You don't become powerful and then take action. You take action, and that's how you step into power. There is no breakthrough without boldness. There is no glow without a decision to stop hiding. This is not the rehearsal. This is your life. And the longer you postpone your rise, the more you delay the people, opportunities, and blessings that are waiting to meet you at your higher level. You weren't meant to stay stuck in cycles that drain you. You weren't meant to spend your days shrinking, doubting, and holding back. There is something inside you that's ready to be seen, heard, and felt. Something waiting to be expressed through your presence, your words, your energy. And the only thing standing between you and that full expression is your willingness to begin. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to say yes. Yes to your power. Yes to your purpose. Yes to showing up even when you feel uncertain. And yes to rising in real time, with real flaws, with real courage. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to make the decision that changes everything. And that decision is to rise. To stop replaying old narratives. To stop romanticizing your limits. To stop pretending you're not ready when deep down you know you are. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of this choice, a version of you who is unapologetic, who doesn't settle, who owns their light fully. That version isn't far away, it's a decision away. Every time you choose to believe in yourself, you get closer. Every time you push past the resistance, you embody that version a little more. And eventually you realize she was never far from you. She was you all along, waiting for you to stop delaying your destiny. This is your moment, not because everything is perfect, but because you're done hiding. Not because you have no fear, but because you're no longer willing to let it lead. Not because someone gave you permission, but because you finally gave it to yourself. Rise now, not for attention, not for approval, but for liberation, for truth, for alignment. Because the longer you wait, the longer your light stays trapped. And the world doesn't need another version of you dimmed. It needs the full glow. It needs your rise. And the time is now.